Imagine you're on an exciting adventure, but instead of climbing mountains or crossing rivers, you're mastering new words that will open doors to the world of English. Ready to transform your English? Join us in this fun journey where every new word you learn brings you closer to fluency. Chapter 1. The beginning of the journey. Sarah had always dreamed of speaking English fluently, but there was one big problem. She didn't feel confident in her vocabulary. Every time she tried to speak, she would stumble over words, unsure how to express her thoughts clearly. It was frustrating and sometimes it made her want to give up. One day after class, her teacher, Mr. Thompson, noticed her frustration. He smiled and told Sarah about a special challenge that could change the way she learned English. "Sarah," he said, "I want you to try something different. Instead of memorizing long lists of words, why not learn new words through stories? Stories make words come alive. If you can understand their meanings and context, they'll stick with you. Let's start with 5 new words today. By the end of the week, you'll be surprised at how much you've learned." Sarah was skeptical at first. Could learning words through stories really help her? But something about the idea intrigued her. She was willing to give it a try. That afternoon, Sarah started her first story. The words were simple but powerful. Adventure, explore, enchanted, path, and journey. She read about a young traveler named Lily who set off to explore an enchanted forest, discovering new things along her journey. Sarah imagined herself walking alongside Lily, feeling the excitement of her adventure. As she read, the new words began to make sense. By the end of the day, Sarah could easily use the 5 words in sentences. She felt more confident already. The idea of learning English through stories wasn't just fun, it was effective. If I can do this every day, Sarah thought, maybe English won't feel so hard after all. Chapter 2. A magical forest. The next day, Sarah felt excited to continue her journey with stories. She sat down with her notebook, ready to discover more words. Mr. Thompson had given her a new set of 5 words to learn, and this time, the story was about a magical forest. The story began. Lily walked into the heart of the enchanted forest, where every tree seemed to whisper secrets of the past. Her heart raced with excitement as she prepared for the adventure ahead. The path ahead was mysterious, winding through tall trees and glowing flowers. The forest was full of wonders waiting to be discovered. As Sarah read the story, she felt as though she was right there in the forest with Lily. She could almost hear the rustling of the trees and see the glowing flowers lighting up the path. The words Sarah was learning came to life before her eyes. Adventure, explore, enchanted, path, and journey. Adventure means something exciting and new, Sarah thought. She could now imagine an adventure not just in the forest, but anywhere, like exploring a new city or learning a new skill in English. Explore is all about discovering new places and things. She smiled as she imagined walking deeper into the forest, eager to see what was hidden. Enchanted. Sarah repeated the word softly. It sounded magical. She could almost feel the magic of the forest around her, with everything glowing in the soft light. Path is the way you travel to reach a place. Just like the winding trail Lily was walking on, Sarah thought, feeling connected to the story and the words. And journey? It felt more than just a word. It was the whole experience, every step of discovery, every new thing learned. Sarah smiled to herself. She could now use these words in sentences. She was learning more than just vocabulary. She was learning to tell her own stories. With every word, Sarah's confidence grew. The magical forest had shown her how powerful learning through stories could be. As she closed her notebook, Sarah felt like she was ready for her next challenge. The enchanted forest had been a great start, but she couldn't wait to see where the next story would take her. Chapter 3: The Mountain. The next day, Sarah's teacher introduced her to a new story. This time it was about a mountain, a massive peak that represented both a challenge and an opportunity for growth. Mr. Thompson gave her 5 new words to learn: summit, courage, overcome, challenge, and view. Sarah opened her book, eager to dive into this new story. The tale began. Lily had reached the base of the towering mountain. The summit was far above her, hidden by clouds, but she knew that if she could reach the top, she would see a view like no other. As she started her climb, the challenge was greater than she expected. The path was steep, and the air grew thinner with each step. But Lily had something powerful on her side: courage. She knew that she could overcome any obstacle, no matter how difficult it seemed. As Sarah read, she could feel the challenge Lily was facing. The mountain seemed intimidating at first, but it was also beautiful and full of potential. Summit, Sarah thought. That's the highest point of the mountain, the goal everyone is aiming for. She could imagine standing on top of a mountain looking out at the world below. Courage is what gives you the strength to keep going. Even when things are tough, Sarah reminded herself. She pictured Lily feeling nervous but finding the bravery to continue up the mountain. Overcome means to defeat or deal with something difficult, Sarah noted. She imagined Lily pushing through her tiredness, overcoming the difficulties of the climb. Challenge is when something is tough but worth doing. Climbing a mountain is a huge challenge, but it's also a chance to grow, Sarah thought, feeling the excitement of the climb. View is what you see from the top. It's the reward after all the hard work. Sarah smiled, picturing a breathtaking view from the summit, knowing how amazing it would feel to reach the top. By the end of the chapter, Sarah felt empowered. She could use these new words to describe not just a mountain climb, but any personal challenge in life. Every time she faced a difficult task, she would remember the courage it took to overcome it, and the sense of accomplishment she would feel when she reached her own summit. The story of the mountain had taught her that learning English was just like climbing a mountain. It wasn't always easy, but the rewards were worth the effort. Chapter 4: The City. As the days passed, Sarah was becoming more confident with her English, but she was eager for a new adventure. Her teacher, Mr. Thompson, introduced her to the next part of the story: a bustling city filled with opportunities. This story was all about discovering the future, finding new horizons, and imagining endless possibilities. The new words Sarah was going to learn were discover, opportunities, cityscape, imagine, and future. Sarah eagerly opened her book, ready to dive into the new adventure. Lily stepped off the train into a vibrant city, full of life and energy. The streets were busy with people walking quickly, the sky dotted with skyscrapers that seemed to touch the clouds. She had come to the city to discover something new, something that would change her life forever. As she walked, she realized the city offered endless opportunities. There was a path for everyone, and the future felt like it was hers to create. The cityscape around her was beautiful, filled with modern buildings and green parks. Everything she imagined was possible here. As Sarah read, she could almost hear the hustle and bustle of the city. She imagined the tall buildings, the bright lights, and the feeling of excitement in the air. The words came alive. Discover is about finding something new, something you didn't know existed before, Sarah thought. She pictured herself exploring a new place, eager to learn about it. Opportunities are chances to do something great, like finding a new job or learning a new skill. Sarah smiled. She felt hopeful, knowing that the world was full of opportunities for anyone who was willing to look. Cityscape, Sarah repeated. That's the way a city looks: its buildings, streets, and the overall view of it. The cityscape Lily saw was full of tall, glass buildings, busy streets, and parks. It made her feel small but also part of something much bigger. Imagine is when you think about something that could happen. It's like picturing your dreams coming true, Sarah said to herself. She closed her eyes and imagined the future she wanted. A world where she spoke perfect English, traveled the world and met new people. Future is the time that comes after now. It's everything that hasn't happened yet, but you can shape it by the choices you make today, Sarah thought. She knew that by learning English, she was already building a better future for herself. As Sarah finished reading, she realized that learning new words was not just about memorizing definitions. It was about seeing the world differently. Each new word added color to her thoughts and opened new possibilities. The city had shown her how much was waiting for her. If she could just imagine it, she felt more motivated than ever. Sarah knew that mastering English would help her unlock endless opportunities, just like Lily had in the city. Chapter 5: The Ocean. Sarah had come a long way in her English learning journey, and now it was time for her to tackle something even bigger: the ocean. This story was about vastness, challenges, and the unknown, where Lily set out on a journey across the open sea. The new words Sarah was going to learn were horizon, vast, discoveries, explore, and journey. As Sarah opened her book, she felt a sense of excitement. The ocean was a symbol of new beginnings, and she was ready to dive into the adventure. Lily stood at the edge of the dock, looking out at the ocean. It stretched out before her, endless and vast, as far as the eye could see. She had always dreamed of crossing it, of reaching the horizon where the sea and sky met. It wasn't an easy journey, but Lily knew that to discover new lands, she had to explore the unknown. With her heart full of anticipation, she boarded the ship and sailed into the open waters. The ocean was full of mysteries, waiting for her to uncover them. As Sarah read, she could feel the power of the ocean. The vast, open water symbolized endless possibilities and the courage to explore the unknown. Horizon, Sarah thought. That's the line where the sky meets the ocean. It's the farthest point you can see, but it also represents the future, something to strive for. She imagined herself standing on the edge of the ocean, seeing the horizon stretch before her, a symbol of all the things yet to come. Vast means something that is huge, much bigger than you can imagine, Sarah realized. The ocean was vast, bigger than any city or mountain she had seen before. It felt like the perfect metaphor for her journey to learn English, big and full of challenges, but also full of wonder. Discoveries, Sarah repeated the word. Discoveries are the things you find out that were hidden before. The ocean is full of them, things waiting to be uncovered. Sarah felt excited about all the new words she had already discovered, and the many more that were waiting for her to find. Explore is when you go somewhere new, to see what's there, Sarah thought. She could picture herself exploring the deep, mysterious waters of the ocean, just as she was exploring the world of English. Journey is a trip or an adventure. It's the whole process of traveling, not just the destination, Sarah said to herself. She realized that her journey of learning English wasn't just about speaking well. It was about the experiences and growth along the way. As Sarah closed her book, she felt inspired. She knew that just like Lily sailing across the ocean, her English journey would take her to places she never imagined. The ocean was a reminder that learning English, like exploring the sea, was about embracing the unknown, facing challenges, and discovering something new every day. As Sarah finished her journey through the ocean, she realized something incredible. Learning English wasn't just about memorizing words. It was about connecting with the world, understanding new ideas, and embracing the adventures that each new word could bring. Every story had taught her something valuable, and with each chapter, her confidence grew. She smiled as she looked back at everything she had learned. From the magical forest to the towering mountain, the bustling city to the vast ocean, each story had added a new layer to her understanding of English. Sarah knew that this was just the beginning of her journey, and the more she learned, the further she would go. And just like Lily's journey across the ocean, Sarah's path in English would lead her to endless possibilities.
If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more English in a fun and exciting way, don't forget to subscribe to English 7 Up with I. We're here to help you discover new words, explore new stories, and master English, one adventure at a time. Hit the subscribe button and join our community of learners today. Your next English adventure is just a click away.